Then you did meet the Reverend Akai? No. Then you did meet the Reverend Akai? The next day, we are back at the rail shop. I report what happened yesterday to Paulette after I know she's finished her duties. I can't say that I actually met him. I was only able to make an appointment to meet later today. The priest must be a busy person. Seems like it. At the same time that I nod to her, Hachiroku's shaking next to me. I notice, but I continue the conversation anyway. Do you know about this Hosho Kisaki person? Pot nods slightly. Her expression clouds up. Of course. She's a banker. The branch manager to the Kumamoto Bank Oitoyo branch. In other words, the central figure of the factory supporters. Yes, their dual plan was probably made up by the Kumamoto Bank president and Kisaki-san's father, Hosho Motsutada-san. Oh. Hosho Motsutada, like father, like daughter. And the bank president, too. I have a small desire to see what he's like. But there's no mistake that the one most active in town is Kisaki-san. Well, she's actively producing results, to be exact. I see. So she is a capable one. In rare occurrence, Paulette nods quietly in a rueful look, painting her face. If the factory supporter is producing results, then that means Paulette is being done in that much more. Anyway, that Kisaki had visited Reverend Akai before I went. Huh? Akai-san? The shrine is being broken up? I think that was the intention, but Reverend Akai somehow turned her away. What do you mean, somehow? Yeah, that's what he said. Kisaki was quite persistent. This was the fruitless debate that Kisaki mentioned. When we visited Reverend Akai, he seemed tired from the arguments. Hachiroku had a hard time holding in her laughter. He came out to greet us, despite forgetting about the cooling patch on his forehead. He did appear completely exhausted. I excused myself and promised to meet today. Ah, so that's what happened. That was perfect, Sutetsu-kun. Pot looks impressed, but I don't understand why. What was perfect about what? You made it to Reverend Akai on your own. I was planning on introducing you to him later. Or him to you. Whatever. Oh. This is perfect. Before I go meet him, I want to know more about him. But, why was it supposed to be later? He is very cautious about causing any sort of influence on things, so I thought it was too early. What do you mean by being cautious of influence? The Kaiyaso Shrine is Otoyo's largest and oldest shrine. Naturally, there are lots of parishioners. Yeah, that sounds right. And his influence is great. Ah, I see. So as one of the more extreme examples, he wants to avoid making any political statements. Yes, I think that's exactly how it is. Paulette responds in agreement instantly, but she still does not look happy. Why is that? Before I can ask, Paulette throws in her answer. There's a city employee who is the aunt of the priest. He was working for Imperial Railway for the same reason. I see, so he was not stationed at Ahotoyo? It was at, Kokura. Kokura. I hear. After saying that, Paulette begins tapping her lower back. The color of her face is brightening up. Kokura. Old man Minasaka mentioned the same thing. Are you sure that used to be a factory for the Imperial Railway? Sadetsu-kun, you wouldn't know about it, right? But Reverend Akai never worked at the factory. Then what did he do? That I don't know. I don't really talk too much with the priest himself. I see. While we continue to chat, our teacups go empty. At the same moment, Hachiroko softly speaks up. Sotetsu-sama, I believe it's time to go. Oh, already? Time seems to fly by when we talk. That's true. She blushes a little while smiling, but also stands up from her chair, but then stops halfway. I don't think I was able to tell you anything very useful, though. She talks while maintaining that position. I think I finally understand why she looked pale. Not at all. Our conversation was very noteworthy, so thank you. Is that right? That's nice to hear. Well, it still does not move. I don't think I can leave her here like this, but... Reina seems to be taking a lot of time doing maintenance today. She doesn't have maintenance today. She's with Hibiki-chan to... Do you remember the kitten from the other day? Oh, you mean the puppy. I don't think it's a dog or a cat. Anyway, they're trying to tame it by feeding it. Oh. Hibiki frantically left the house this morning. So we're going to the same destination, it seems. I'm sure it'll go well. As far as I know, animals tend to like Hibiki. Right, too. That's why I was thinking of preparing for it. Even if it seems a bit premature. About having the station master dog you mentioned before? Yes, the station master cat. Station master? What is that thing anyway? That sounds interesting. Let me know if I can help. It might help with tourism promotion. I'll be sure to ask you then, Sotetsu-kun. That's only if they manage to tame it with food. She must be wondering. Hachiroko's gaze turns to the door. Let's change our direction. Rather than wait for Reina to return, we should, Hachiroko, wait for me outside. I need to talk to Paulette for a little. Is that so, Sotetsu-sama? Then I'll hand her around to the area. Hang around. Doesn't seem like something she'd say. Was that hang? Did I miss? Doesn't seem like something she'd say. Hachiroko then quickly goes outside. Now then. Oh, sorry, Sotetsu-kun. Do you mind talking while I change? Pot stands up looking at me. She hasn't moved from her unnatural position. If you can move just fine, there's nothing more to talk about. I was worried that you might have hurt your back. So you did notice. That's amazing, Sotetsu-kun. My back hurts because it never seems to fully recover. I went to the doctor about it, but they said there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm cowardly, so maybe I'm a bit afraid of it. I'm just more careful than usual. I see. Well, that's a relief. I'll excuse myself then. Oh, yes. See you later. I have to go to the city council later, too. I see. Then I'll report what happened over the phone tonight. Alright. A sigh of relief, relaxed tone of voice. But somehow deep inside it, a hint of lonesomeness. I'll be waiting for your call. Excuse me for the other day. Not at all. I should apologize for dropping by so suddenly. Reverend Akai seems well rested this time. The cooling patch on his forehead is long gone, at least. Hachiroku breathes a sigh of relief in secret. You wanted to speak to me about something? Yes, I visited you yesterday in order to get some advice regarding the railway. The railway? Reverend Akai turns around slowly upon hearing my blunt start to the conversation. He looks far to that side of the room, where there lies a leather bag, much like mine. I heard that you were employed by the former Imperial Railway. Were you an engineer? The moment I ask, his expression softens. His face tells me that he has welcomed me as one in the know. I worked as an engineer, but toward the end I was a motorman. I operated the electric trains at Kukura's trial sector. Oh my! Hachiroku gives out a surprised exclamation. I didn't know that electric trains were being used at Kakura's engine depot. Yes, Hokkaido, Shikoku, Kyushu, all throughout Japan. The Imperial Railway was desperate in making a comeback with trains. The priest speaks as if he's teaching the basics to Hachiroku, Rail Lord of the former Imperial Railway. In my later years, the Imperial Railway invested all of its operation resources into electrifying railways, but was unable to make any returns and ultimately went bankrupt. So that's what happens. A deep emotional sigh. There, I finally realized it. Although the Imperial Railway was at its end, Hachiroku was asleep due to the accident, so she didn't know. But that doesn't mean the investments didn't bear fruit. It changed shapes and bloomed in Hiroshima, did it not? Are you talking about the Hiroden? The Hiroshima Electric Railway? I see. With that in mind, it's not a complete waste. The priest closes his eyes, reminiscing. The shadows of the former Imperial Railway must be flashing before his eyes. Oh, excuse me for talking about the past without a formal introduction. I am the chief priest of this shrine. My name is Akai Kiyoharu. Yeah, Kiyoharu. Oh, excuse me for thy sudden rudeness. I know who you are, Mikichu Satetsu-kun. And your friend here is the 8620 series top number Railord. I'm assuming you are Hachiroku-san? Do I have that correct? Your Akumen is second to none, Engineer Akai? That's former engineer to you. Now I'm just an ordinary priest. I understand, Reverend Akai. Hachiroku exchanges words with this priest naturally, but there is a certain doubt in my mind. How did you know about Hachiroku and me? Hachiroku, the 8620's steam locomotive Railord, and the 8620 series was mass-produced on a wide scale. Where there are train tracks, there is also the shadow of Hachiroku. That's what everyone said. You mean Hachiroku was used as a generic name or a nickname for the 8620 series? Or are they all Hachiroku? That's correct. The Rail Lord Hachiroku name applies only to me as the top number units. I see. I'm starting to understand what is going on. There was an 8620 series unit deployed even for engine sheds for Kakura. Reverend Akai knew about what the rail lords of the 8620 series looked like. It's more like common features. Aside from that, individual appearances are quite varied. I see. These facts have now been verified. All that's left is to keep moving forward. Knowing that, Hachoku, being a top number unit, must have some sort of distinguishing mark. All top number raillords refer to themselves in the first person. First person? Hachoku refers to herself as I. The only other raillord I know is Reina, and she does refer to herself as Reina. Oh. Yeah, I didn't actually notice that. I figured it was just a cute little quirk for the cute little robot character. I see. So all raillords aside from the top number unit refer to themselves as the nickname of their train series? Correct. However, from what I gather, Hachoku had many sisters. I have 671 younger sisters, just in my direct lineage. 671. Including Hachoku, that made 672 of them. It must have been a graceful sight. With so many raillords with different nicknames, isn't it difficult even for the ones naming them? We don't gather in a single place, nor were all of us active simultaneously. She must have remembered her sisters. Hachoku's expression softened significantly. Railroads made after the top number differ greatly depending on the engine depot. At Kokura, the partnering engineer registered their names. It could be Rika, Futaba, or anything related to the number 862. That's quite elegant. At Tio, we simply called them by serial numbers of Haru 1, HA equals 8, Rho equals 6, Haru 2, etc. That's quite plain. Wait, that's not what I meant. This is dangerous. The conversation has completely derailed. Or should I say, digressed. So, is that how you know about us? But you did come before with the whole family. I do remember that. And during that time, Mikita-san, your grandfather, Taito-san, asked me to take care of you. Taito-san said that? Reverend Akai nods in silence and looks into my eyes. He's already suffered a lifetime's worth of misfortunes. Please, watch over him so that he gains happiness. Is that what happened? I have no idea what happiness is or how to obtain it, but I believe that being told those words in itself is happiness. I'd express my gratitude, but I can't find the right words. Reverend Akai gently smiles, looks to Hachoku, then looks back to me. Now then, it was about the railway, was it? If it's advice you are looking for, tell me, what exactly you want? My posture straightens up. Being given this opportunity, it would make me ungrateful if I didn't take advantage of it. We would like to ask you about repairing a steam locomotive. We want to use that to rebuild the tourism industry. Taking the SL for tourism, I see. We did not have a solid plan in the beginning, but after downstreaming on the Kuma River, I fully understand it will not be easy. Old man Minasako wanted to show me the current state of Ohitoyo's tourism industry, the loss of income, which leads to a brain drain of human resources, which in turn leads to a vicious cycle of hollowing out. I give my honest opinion of what I saw and what I felt. That's how I kept inching toward my goal. The repair of 8620 is to be seen as a sort of example. Or rather a model showcase to be more accurate. I want to show that the revival is not impossible and make it into a type of landmark. And how do you plan on showing that? Is it not impossible? Naturally, by reviving 8620 and having it run. I'd like to do as much of the work for that as possible within Toyo. Meaning you would like to bring people and technology into Toyo. If possible, yes. And to do that, I'm currently looking for cooperators. I see. Reverend Akai nods subtly before turning to face Hachiroku. What is the plan to repair 8620? How much progress have you made? Well, as of right now, this is the list of required fixes. Do you mind? Reverend Akai's gaze falls on top of the list. Perhaps Hachiroku is nervous. Her lips are closed tight. It seems some very basic data is missing. That's due to my decreased function. I can't seem to bring up the data very well. That is... I think that's due to the effects of the accidents. Hachiroku interrupts Reverend Akai, but the priest seems to accept that in a gentle, almost fatherly way. The 8620 series top number unit of that accident. That's what I think. Reverend Akai used to work at the engine depot at Kokura, and he knows about that accident. The accident that Hachiroku experienced must also be a severe one that has forever been carved into the Imperial Railway's history. Phew. He recompiles the documents meticulously and hands them to me. Reverend Akai stares at me and Hachiroku back and forth. Is advice all you need? Yes, if possible. I don't know about the future, nor do I possess what is correct or what may lead you to your happiness. Yes. This advice will be with that in mind, so it may not provide any guidance for you. Do you still want it? Yes, that's exactly what I want. Just like how Pot described, Reverend Akai prefers to avoid influencing others. As for me, I have no intention of letting anyone make decisions for me anyway. I would like to use your advice to make better informed decisions. I see. Then let's begin with Hachiroku-san. Yes? About her drop in condition. You should seek the advice of the Tororu Hot Springs owner. The Tororu Hot Springs? Hearing this unexpected name, Hachiroku and I turn to each other. Hachiroku's mouth is wide open. When you say the Tororu Hot Springs owner, do you mean the elderly lady there? She is a first-rate railroad craftsman, and an active one at that. She looks over Reina-san from time to time, even now. Oh my. Seeing Hachiroku surprised, Reverend Akai pauses to keep the suspense. She has even made Kyushi's very last state-of-the-art top-number railroad. Her skills are unquestionable. She even manufactures top-number units? I can't believe someone so wonderful is so close. Aerograph Tech constantly tries to recruit her with great benefits, but she's turned them down each time due to her love of the railways. We must go to her. I would like her to check up on me. As if relieved by the answer, Reverend Akai looks at Hachiroku with kind eyes. But then suddenly he turns a sharp glare toward me. Now, Regarding the repair of 8620 next. Yes. I think your order is wrong. A long pause. I can't think of an answer. Reverend Kai lets out a deep sigh as if he's left without a choice and sluggishly opens his mouth to speak. Rather than gathering collaborators, you need money right now. Money, gosh darn.